went into something else now.
Wow.
This is beautiful. ¿Este cuánto cuesta?
I'm less than 20 miles south of San Diego in Tijuana, or TJ as it's sometimes called here. I drove across the border to spend a few hours taking in the city's music scene. Musicians here are much closer to the U.S. than they are to the vibe in Mexico City, some 1,700 miles away. But for some artists, that proximity only amplifies the desire to proudly represent Tijuana. I mean, Betto, you've come to Tijuana so many times, going back all the way to the first time in 1977.
Yeah.
The changes must be remarkable.
Oh God, it's nothing like it was back then. It's really nice, I have to say.
My guide was Betto Arcos, a music journalist with a deep knowledge of Latin American pop music. He's visited TJ more times than he can remember.
Wow.
Looks like we walked into a disc digger's gold mine.
We can see here everything from Led Zeppelin to David Bowie to the band to Thelonious Monk and all kinds of Latin music.
This is the rock en español section.
Oh yeah. There's some stuff here from
Manu Chao.
Manu Chao. There's a tribute to Jose Jose, one of the great pop singers of Mexico. Oh. I found something from TJ here. This is Tijuana No. This is probably the hottest, the most well-known album of this band from TJ. It's called Transgresores de la Ley, Transgressors of the Law. Singers like Julieta Venegas and Ceci Bastida, they started singing with this band back in the day.
And of course, Julieta and Ceci Bastida have both gone on to their own solo careers now in the U.S. and all over the globe.
Julieta, geez, she took off big time.
Did you find any Julieta?
Julieta Venegas, she was born in Long Beach, but she grew up in Tijuana. So she has that very border identity. Ah, the Dug Dugs! Oh my God! I can't believe it!
And these guys are from TJ?
They are from TJ, absolutely. These were at the top in my list of rock bands from Tijuana and rock bands in Mexico that had an identity that they sounded Mexican. De los discos de los Dug Dugs, ¿cuáles son el primero o el más conocido? So this is the first Dug Dugs record. Oh my God! I've never seen a record.
We need to get that one.
I've never seen a record by these guys. Oh, what the heck is this? Oh my God! This is the Avándaro 50th anniversary record. Mexico had its own Woodstock, and it was called Avándaro. And these are all the bands. These are all the acts that played, and some of them are from here. Dug Dugs, Javier Bátiz, El Ritual. Oh my God! This is vintage.
Tijuana has like so much regional attention for its music, but what about the pop scene?
You know, a lot of people don't know that the big inspiration for an American pop musician was TJ. Back in the 60s, Herb Alpert and a friend came from Los Angeles to Tijuana, and they went to a bullfight. And there at the bullfight, before the show started, it was a big band. They were playing pasodobles, mariachi hits, and the sound of the horns really made an impact on Herb Alpert. And it was that gave birth to Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass.
It's an amazing story of music crossing the border in a way that we don't usually expect. Let me get a shot of you with him.
And his face is classic too, because he was not one to smile. He was always kind of dour.
Ahí está.
Casa Retro.
Wow.
Hola.
Está más grande que la ciruela. ¿Lo podemos escuchar? I want to hear this.
Okay.
This is
is a Mexican band. This is from TJ.
This band was in
And I
Avándaro.
mean, the message that they have, it's very subversive.
Well, the band is called Peace and Love.
It's called Peace and
What's
Love.
subversive about
They
that?
talk about going against the power. They're talking about, drugs, marijuana.
Yeah, there was definitely a period of horrendous censorship in Mexico after Avándaro. And there were some places where bands would play, the so-called Hoyos Funky, the sort of underground music scene, where bands like Three Souls in My Mind and Dug Dugs and others would play. But it was not massive, it was not advertised, it was not public, because there were police raids all the time. They would, taken to jail. This happened for more than 10, 15 years until the 1980s, when things started to open up and you start to see the beginning of what became the rock en español movement.
What do you think made Tijuana so dynamic? Was it its proximity to the border?
Yeah, I think the crossing of cultures. I think some places have this magic, like, I don't know, Nashville, Memphis, and TJ has that spirit, has that magic.
Betto, it's been such a pleasure to go disc digging with you in Tijuana. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a lot of fun.
Brava!
Brava, ando brava.
Brava, brava!
Ando brava.